Welcome to another segment of Homage to Our Mothers, a reclamation of Black women's sacred sexuality, highly inspired by the book Pussy Prayers. I am Hush, and today we pay special tribute to Sarah Baartman. South African-born Sarah of the Khoisan people would later be known throughout Europe with the derogatory name, the Hottentot Venus. There is not much known about Sarah's earlier life. However, we do know that she was orphaned at a very young age and widowed as a young teenager, and she would eventually find herself in the employment of a white man in nearby Cape Town, South Africa. And she would later find herself in Europe, the prime star attraction amongst exhibitions and later human zoos. Because of her large protruding bottom and her elongated labia, Sarah would later become the focal point during the emergence of racial science. While it is known in her earlier performances that she refused to be naked in front of onlookers, she was often presented to crowds wearing skin-tight, flesh-colored clothing and donned in beads and feathers, often with a pipe in her mouth. The dehumanization did not stop there. For extra pay, people often poked her with their fingers or sticks. Eventually, her novelty in England would wane and she would be transported to Paris, where things would take a far darker turn. This is where Sarah would come under the influence of an animal exhibitor and given the stage name Rue. And it is during this time that she would be often painted or examined by scientists, poked and prodded, and in the words of her quote-unquote promoter, probably prostituted. At the age of 26, Sarah would eventually pass away from what would be described as an inflammatory and eruptive disease, most likely syphilis and complications of alcoholism. However, her exploitation did not end at the time of her death. Sarah's genitalia and her brain would be pickled, and her skeleton would be preserved and placed on display in Paris's Museum of Man until 1974. It wasn't until 1994, however, that President Nelson Mandela requested her repatriation back into South Africa. And while the French government agreed, it would not commence until 2002, when Sarah's remains were finally returned to South Africa and received a proper burial. After 192 years, Sarah was able to return home, and it is today that we salute our beautiful mother. Sarah Baartman, we love you.